Hey everyone, it's Drayton from Scale Trains, and today we're going to be talking about the Chessie/CSX GP30Ms and this rivet counter spotlight. So CSX Corporation was created in 1980 to bring all of the railroads together under the CSX umbrella from Seaboard and Chessie System. And although those railroads operated independently until 1986, consolidation of those companies, including their locomotive roster, began in the early 1980s, with one such example being the CSX GP30M rebuild program, which began in March of 1981 and continued through December of 1983. And essentially, CSX took GP30s and rebuilt them internally. Now, they were lettered in Chessie System colors, and a lot of the changes happened under the hood. Although you can't really see them externally, internally, CSX shop forces simplified the complicated electrical wiring of the GP30. This was well before the Dash 2 program, and if you ever talk to a locomotive maintenance company or a rebuilder, the first thing they're going to tell you is that the electrical conduit in the GP30 is atrocious. So CSX simplified that electrical wiring, and they also downrated the prime mover from 2,250 horsepower down to 2,000, and that reduced a lot of stress on the prime mover and the traction motors, and really extended the lives of these locomotives. At this point, being delivered to their predecessors in the early 1960s, had operated in revenue service for about 20 years. And that's generally the life cycle that you see of a locomotive on a Class 1 railroad before it's retired or rebuilt. And thankfully, CSX chose to rebuild these locomotives. And it was kind of cool because, these particular locomotives wore the iconic Chessie cat all the way through the early 90s, and in some cases, the late 90s. The last GP30M to be retired on the roster was in 1997. Some of these locomotives found homes on short line railroads, but most ultimately ended up being rebuilt into the Roadmate slugs, which we also offer and offered in our previous run. So, it's kind of cool because if you're a CSX modeler in particular, you're going to want these three road numbers that we're offering in this run. There is a plethora of paint scheme variations, including one road number that really doesn't have a whole lot of distressed lettering. It was in a relatively clean state when it went in to be shopped. And then the other two road numbers have tremendous variations, from distressed logos to distressed paint lines. On one particular road number, the road number right next to me, 4234, there's actually chalk stencil markings on the side of the long hood, which is just really cool. I've never seen that before in HO scale. And these are also a perfect complement to the previous runs of SD40-2s that we've offered for our late 80s, early 90s CSX modelers. They're the 6 axles. These are now the 4 axles. And you're going to want to add them to your roster because, like those early runs of SD40-2s, demand is quite high for these. They're kind of flying off the shelves. But we wanted to make you aware of these paint scheme variations because you really need them if you're in that era of CSX modeler. Now, for our die-hard Chessie fans, you pre-merger modelers from the 70s, the good news is that we're also offering as-delivered road numbers, so that you can add some variety to your fleet. Chessie being one of the most popular road name requests that we get. We're always trying to strive to serve that market as well. And also, what's kind of cool is that our 86-foot high cube auto parts box cars are also in stock. There are several different versions of these box cars. They're not as noticeable as the locomotives themselves, but if you look at the tops of these box cars, some of them have white overspray on the ends, and others, the overspray ended up on the roof line, but others don't. They just have a clear silver roof line, which is kind of neat and something that you see in the prototype. There's slight variations with the warning labels and whatnot. But the thing is about these box cars is that they make for a great weekend weathering project. Same thing with the GP30Ms. A little bit of weathering goes a long way. The box cars are neat though, because a lot of these box cars ended up well into the 1990s and even in the early 2000s, just lettered like they are for Chessie System and C&O and B&O. And I actually photographed one of these auto parts box cars in eastern Kentucky in 2016. So, you know, it's really, the world is your playground when it comes to model railroading. It can be whatever you want it to be, and as long as you're having fun, that's the most important thing. So there's tons of variety between the locomotives and the box cars, and if you want to add these locomotives or box cars to your roster, you better hurry and act today by clicking the links in the video description to place your order today at scaletrains.com. So with that, thanks for tuning in to our Rivet Counter Spotlight Series video. It's always great to have you here on the YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to get notifications every time we upload just like that. All right, everybody, happy railroading. We'll see you next time.